Have you ever blamed yourself for not living a productive life? Reflecting on your day today, do you feel satisfied with your accomplishments? If you don't, it's okay. But how do we define what's productive or not? Why are so many people obsessed with it, and how important is it really? Before we start, with a raise of hands, how many people think they have been addicted or they are addicted to productivity? I was one of you from 2022 to the beginning of 2024, just until I bought a study planner from Korea. This is the actual page of the study planner, where there is a to-do list on one side and a timetable on the other. I was using it during the summer of 2024, and one day when I was calculating the total amount of study time, I was stunned because it showed that I only studied for 2 hours and 20 minutes out of the whole day. But trust me, I thought I was studying nonstop. I was devastated and mentally shocked because I realized I may have not been living a productive life for the past few years. At that moment, my self-esteem also seemed to break because my pride of living a productive life was the only thing that had glued it together. After this, I became interested in productivity and why we care about it so much. We see it everywhere, from YouTube videos to drink names. So, what is it? According to Benjamin Franklin, productivity is what a person does in a day. The New York Times says it is the total output per hour of work. I viewed it as the amount of tasks you completed. Okay, so now we know what productivity is, but why do you care about it so much? From experience, I think it's because people want to feel the achievement. The proud feeling that you get after checking a bunch of boxes. The feeling that you get after reflecting back on your day and seeing how much you have completed. To be honest, some days I intentionally made a few more tasks just because I wanted to feel more accomplished. And I'm pretty sure some of you here also did that at some point. But I'm not saying that being productive is bad. But what happens if we are overproductive? In other words, what happens if you are addicted? According to BBC, the root of productivity addiction is the fear of wasting time. So you constantly classify everything as either productive or unproductive. Reza Jafari, someone who was once addicted to productivity, mentions that he had a nasty habit of trying to turn unproductive things into productive things. Of course, by doing this, you may be more efficient and it may keep you more motivated. However, at the same time, you're also constantly lying to yourself that unproductive things are productive because you tried to make them look like one. And Dr. Sandra Chapman, Chief Director of the Center for Brain Health, also mentioned that productivity addiction has similar effects to drugs and has similar setbacks such as depression and anxiety, a dangerous outcome that contradicts the original purpose. This shows that productivity addiction is not something we should just go over. It's severe and it might lead to long-term effects. So, how do we know if we have this addiction and how can we overcome this? Melody Wilding, a critic and professor of human behavior at Hunter College, lists a few signs to see if you have this addiction, and here are some of them. You feel guilty and later beat yourself up when you waste time. You talk a lot about how busy you always are. You feel bad at the end of the day if you only cross off one item off your to-do list. To overcome this addiction, a behavioral addiction professor Griffiths advised to create a not to-do list to avoid overworking and burnout. She mentions that a device-free break time is also essential and gives you the opportunity to develop your creative ideas and build relationships. But remember, not everything is about productivity. Sometimes, efficiency and productivity can be moved aside. It is you who decide what it means and make the decision. As Professor Griffith said, at the end of people's life, they never regret working more, but rather spending more time with their loved ones. So remind yourself, if you want to be productive, be careful not to fall into the loophole of being addicted. Thank you.